So I was watching a post by an online content creator who's this incredible guitar player, and he's a really good educator as well. And it's really generous with it. And he was talking about like the difference between noodling, playing, and practicing, and saying about how with practicing you drill down to that thing. You're not just playing absent-mindedly. He's describing a very present state with it. And for me, I just have a different approach, which is that I have a different approach, which is that you've got to be performing. You've got to be performing, and you can do that. I have to be performing, and I can do that as part of my practice, because when I'm drilling down to the minutiae of what the issue is, it could be that I'm playing a run and I can't get my fingering going because it's like one shape, and then I'm moving up at one fret and I'm playing a shape that I'm not used to doing, something that feels out of scale, and I'll sit there and I'll get the biomechanics of it right. But for me, there's a problem with doing that, because then you're just performing the action. Then I'm just performing the action if I practice like that in isolation. So immediately I have to start building it back into the musical expression that I was learning or practicing or improvising on. And I used to play in the violin. I used to play in youth orchestras.
Thank you.
And if, say, you're in the first violins, the idea is that you're going down in pairs and you're following the lead from the people in front up to the first desk of the first violins, and they're really ultra in contact with the conductor. Of course, everyone should be looking at the conductor. But say there's an issue when you're rehearsing something, he'd do the whole section, the conductor would do the whole section first, say what he was wanting to hear, give people a chance to do that. Then you'd have to go desk by desk, to pair by pair, and that was a strong motivator to listen to him, because you didn't want to be like, when it happened, it'd be like, oh, that's it, it's you, like there'd be like an implicit shaming in it. And for me, those are fucking traumas I can do without when I'm like enjoying myself. Anyway, so for me, it's about having the awareness to know what's happening, be honest about what you're doing, and the presentness with that. So it's not just wild abandon when I'm playing by myself, but I want to practice. If I come up to a point like that, I can't spend very, very long on it. I can't be spending like one little thing, because that'll take me out of the flow. And what I find is flow builds flow. So if you're practicing in a flow state, you're more likely to bring that flow state into being. And like, actually, to do that, one has to kind of almost go into like that sense of enjoyment with noodling. You just trying stuff out. You have that, but it's like this is where it gets maybe into almost the realm of chaos magic, because you don't have to believe, for this technique to work that I'm about to tell you, you don't have to believe in God or out. Do you know what I mean? Not at all, no. But maybe for a minute, pretend that God does exist, and pretend that God's listening, and pretend that God, or maybe the spirits, you know, something otherworldly that can sit outside this material world, can see your whole journey, can see that they know that you're thinking about them, and that actually they're the ones in control of it all. So just be grateful of that and let go. And then in that state, which I maintain isn't in some ways different from noodling whilst watching the TV, in that state, new things will happen. Instead of like looking, oh, what's this technique here? Oh, the fingering here. You know, you can actually just get whole new things will come to you. That's what happens with me anyhow. And yeah, new things happen. Like literally, like new chord shapes. You just come out intuitively and sit with the arrangement nicely. Movements, fluidity of left and right hand, speed and coordination. So that's the point. And that point can happen on stage if you cultivate it. One can go there on stage. From my personal experience, I can access that much more. And key to that is it has to be fun. What you're doing at that moment has to be fun. So if getting into the minutiae of it all intensely, and putting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on one little bit just to get it right, is really enjoyable to you, and you've got the time to do that, then great. I don't have the time to do that. I don't. I feel like I'm making up for lost time, you know, and I'm passionate about doing what I believe is the quickest way for me, and it's all about that. It's all about letting go. Yeah, putting the hours in. Like, you know, I know scales. I'm always learning the scale up and down the fretboard in different ways. And I get loads and loads and loads from the online stuff. Like, there's loads of brilliant stuff, really motivational players. But I think what we're talking about is music here, and flow is much more important than the correct application of a musical technique. Flow and individuality, shit all over that all the time. That's why things like punk exist. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting now, and that's my contribution for today. Bye.